Since I've been working with you, I would say from maybe 2 a week, to probably close to 20 a week.
Repeat that one more time. You went from how many leads to how many leads?
2 a week to 20 a week. And
And
that's calls in our office, real calls. Name of the company is Roof Angel. We're a commercial and residential roofing company. Currently, we're servicing Henderson, Kentucky, Owensboro, Kentucky, really the western, northern part of Kentucky, and south end of Indiana. Yeah. My first and last name is Jake Gibson, and the web address is it's www.roofangel.com.
again, for anybody out there that might have blacked out when they heard that, I think you said you went from 2 calls per week or 2 leads a week to 20 leads a week. Maybe I got that wrong. Could you maybe share again just how much of an increase you've seen in the leads in these first 120 days?
Yeah, the increase. I mean, what would that's like 400%, maybe more. Um, sorry, that'd be 1,000%, I guess, right? 2 to 20. Um, Correct me if I'm wrong. The
No,
increase has been massive, though.
it's why it's wild.
Yeah.
It's
People
unbelievable.
people are mad at me. A lot of companies here, it's not just roofing companies, they're mad at me because they're like, what are you doing that we're not doing? There's a lot of talk that just does not make sense to people. And I love it. I want to keep doing it. So yeah, so my big claim to fame, roofers in a lot of industries, they have a bad name. So I want to make sure I want to set that straight, and I want to set a higher expectation. So when we go out to roofs, we a lot of times we do free repairs even. We bring a caulk gun, we bring all the stuff we need on top of that roof, and if it's a simple fix, we're fixing it for free. Not for free because we want a Google review or a video review. Um, but in that case, we're telling them, we're saying, hey, next time a storm comes by, we want to be your roofer, so give us a call. We're not chasing money. We're chasing just doing the right thing.
Folks, on today's show, we're going to interview a wonderful client who it's kind of interesting because I've known of this man for years, and I've had the opportunity to work on a very close level with this man's uncle, I believe. So this man, his uncle, is the pastor of a church called His Church. It's Pastor Brian Gibson. It's called His Church. And I've had the opportunity to work with both pastors Brian and Jesse Gibson for years. And I kept hearing rumors about this family member they have that's got the entrepreneurial spirit and this guy who's going to go on to become super successful. And so we've had the opportunity to now work with the founder of roofangel.com and I believe the nephew of Pastor Brian Gibson. Jake Gibson, welcome onto the Thrivetime Show. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, sir?
I'm excited to be here with you, and I want to just celebrate the wins and encourage somebody out there. So first off, your website, your company is roofangels.com. It's roofangel.com, singular, roofangel.com. Tell the listeners out there, what's the name of your company and what markets do you service?
Name of the company is Roof Angel. We're a commercial and residential roofing company. Currently, we're servicing Henderson, Kentucky, Owensboro, Kentucky, really the western, northern part of Kentucky, and south end of Indiana. Yeah.
My life has been completely transformed over the last 13 years, and I take every opportunity to thank Clay. It's incredible. It's such a change that it's not just me that I get to experience the change and my wife, but my children and my children's children will impact it, and everybody that I get to talk with now and work with all of my business clients that I get to work with. It's the seed.
Now, laziness doesn't look like what you think it looks like. Lazy people aren't always lying on the couch watching television. Some of the laziest people I know are busy all day long. They're busy being busy, but they're not busy doing the things that matter.
Yep. So let's start out with tell me your name and the company that you work with.
My name is Con Wiggs, and I am a builder with Brian D. Wiggs Homes in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Fantastic. And what is your position there, Con? What the heck do you do with Brian D. Wiggs?
I am vice president of operations, but I cover all field operations on all projects around the office, anything of that sort of matter.
Okay, cool. So I don't know, just just because it might be a little awkward for some listeners. I don't know. To work for Brian Wiggs, do you have to change your last name to Wiggs? I'm just knowing that your last name is Wiggs, his last name is Wiggs. What's going on there? What's up with the Wiggs thing?
We are a family-run company. It's Brian, myself, and my brother-in-law, Aaron, who's not a Wiggs, but he's married to one. So we let him in. We've been family-run company for 20 years. And about 3 years ago, we hired someone that's not family, but she's been awesome and a great asset to the company. So we're drawing up paperwork to adopt her to make her a Wiggs.
Very good. I think it's only right that everybody actually, it's kind of a blood oath that you're in. Yeah, you can't really leave that. So, all right, man. Well, let's see. Con, talk to me a little bit about some of the struggles, some of the difficulties, some of the limitations. Insert whatever word you want to insert there. Some of the stuff that was going on before you started working with the Leadership Initiative that led Brian and you guys to the place where you're going, okay, we're going to need some help, with this. And so I'm first of all going to ask you about what was going on with the team and the company. And then the follow-up question is going to be what was going on specifically with you in your position, some of the struggles that you were dealing with some of your trade partners and stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's pretty much an easy one. We were struggling with processes and procedures. And so that's where we started with you trying to figure out, okay, how do we organize the company? How do we make it to where we know what the process is, and then we can repeat the process over and over until it just becomes habit and not something that you got to go look up a document and find, okay, if I'm going to brush my teeth, how do I properly brush my teeth so I do it effective and efficiently?
Okay, cool. And speaking of brushing the teeth, that's probably a hypothetical, I would assume.
Yes.
But
yes.
Can you think of any specific examples of processes that you guys didn't have in place, and as a result, you tended to deal with it with every project? You'd come back to here we are again in the same spot.
Right. So as a custom home builder, we receive a lot of information and details. And so what do you do with all that information? And how do you store it? Where do you store it so that when I'm out in the field and I'm working with my trade partners and I need to know, okay, is it square corners on sheetrock or round corners? How do I go retrieve that information in a timely manner? So that was the main thing, was how do we organize all of these details so that we can be detail oriented and run in an efficient manner instead of spending all my time just searching through files and files trying to find that one key piece of information I need to keep moving.
Okay. And what were some of your meetings like, your team meetings when you would get together? Were they short meetings that were very targeted, or did they tend to go long, kind of all over the board? Talk to me a little bit about what were those meetings like as a team before you had these systems in place, and these, maybe talk a little bit about some of the tracking and the problems that we have because we didn't have tracking and so on.
Yeah, they were longer meetings. They were more organic, and they just kind of go. They would move in random directions. They weren't real pointed, and it was like, okay, who's got a question? What's your question? And let's just follow the road that takes us down, versus starting the meeting with an agenda and going, okay, follow the agenda, stay on track. If that's not part of the agenda, send it to the parking lot. We'll set a time and a place to deal with that.
Fantastic. So, okay. All right, man. And then how about you specifically in your position as the production manager and the guy that's in charge of pretty much everything in the field? What were some of the struggles that you were having, not only communicating, as you mentioned, communicating back to the team, but also communicating with your customers and communicating with your trade partners and subcontractors and all that kind of stuff? What were some of those struggles and difficulties that you were dealing with back before we were able to implement stuff?
Right. So a lot of my job is just making sure the scope of work is done with accuracy. And I have to line up labor and material to both be on the job at the same time. And they have to have their details of what they're going to do with that so that we can get the job done. And that was a struggle going, okay, is everything designed and ready for me so that I can uh, give those details to my trade partners and let them go to the job, get it all done on one visit, or if it's a week long, it's 5 daily visits, and then they're done and they're out, and I'm ready for the next guy. So a lot of my struggles were, okay, I'm on the job with the guys, but I don't have all my details, so they can only do what I've told them to do, and then they leave, but now I have to reschedule them to come back because I'm going to get those details 3 days from now. And oh, now I need more material, so I got to order that. I got to wait for it to deliver. They said they were going to deliver it Monday, and my guys were there Monday, but it didn't. The material didn't show up on Monday. It showed up on Tuesday, but my guys were gone. So it was just a lot of logistics of trying to get everything scheduled to be ready at the same time.
Okay. And not having those systems in place, talk a little bit about how that negatively impacted your time and your money and your energy and all that kind of stuff.
Well, energy is definitely drains your energy more so than you can calculate. But we did spend a lot of time trying to crunch some numbers and figure out, okay, when we have drift or what we call a lost day of work because there was nobody on site working, nobody progressing the house. We've calculated it's about $500 a day to have a job just sit with nothing going on. So you can imagine if one day costs you 5 days, then you lose $2,500 in a week just like that. The guys were there Monday, but the material wasn't there. So they went to go do another job. They can't come back for 7 days, or whatever it is. They got to go complete that job and then come back to my job. That's a lot of missed time just because you didn't have everything lined up exactly. So, and then you're spending time rescheduling all of that because you've already scheduled it once. Now you have to go back and reschedule it in line. You're making phone calls. Hey, can you be there on Tuesday? Yeah, you can. Hey, can we have the material there? No, it's going to be Wednesday. Okay, hey, it's not Tuesday, it's Wednesday. Oh, you can't be there Wednesday? When can you? Oh, Friday? Okay, book me for Friday. As you're going, wow, I just lost a week of work, and it was because I wasn't able to have everything planned out exactly where I needed it to be.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And how did that eventually trickle down to customer service? And talk a little bit about how those issues that you as a team and then you personally as the project manager that you were dealing with, how did that impact the experience that your customers were having?
Right. So, I mean, customer service is the main thing. You want your client to have a great experience, and if they're not getting good customer service, it negatively impacts that experience. And when I tell my client, "Hey, this, and this is going to happen on Monday," and then Monday rolls around and it doesn't happen, then that's a bad experience for them, and they're wondering, okay, did my project manager actually have those things lined up and things out of his control happened? Or did he just lie to me and he said he was going to do something Monday, but he didn't plan on it or he wasn't scheduled for it? You give them all these negative thoughts and you can't control where they go with those. And so, yeah, it makes customer service really hard when you're telling them, okay, here's what's going to happen. And then that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, well, let's start making the transition now. Okay, we talked about all the stuff that was going on before, but then start to list just a handful of specific strategies, so specific systems, specific moves that we started putting into place to help you deal with each of these areas, whether they be strategies for you guys as a team, or whether they be strategies for you specifically as a project manager. Talk a little bit about, 2 or 3 of the strategies. You don't have to go into all of them. You may want to list a few and then talk about how, and then just move right into utilizing this one strategy has really been able to help us to do X, Y, and Z.
Right. So, I mean, one of the best things we did was we went out and got Builder which is our online software that really helps us organize everything electronically so that you can access it, whether you're in the field or at the office or your home office. And so having that was a huge help, but that alone wasn't it. We had to build our processes of how do you input your information into Builder so that it can be a key component to make you more effective and allow you to be strategic and hit your marks, and so that you're not spending time redoing something you've already done because you missed your time.
Okay.
But a lot of those procedures were how do you receive information and details? How do you categorize that? Where do you file that so that anybody on the team can pull up the electronic file and go to the exact document that they're looking for? And so Clay has helped us build those and get us organized so that we're not spending time searching for things. We're going right to the documents that we need, getting that information, and then sending that to the right people.
Fantastic. Talk a little bit about things that we've implemented to help your meetings go smoother and be more effective with your communication.
Yeah. So having a meeting, one of the things Clay implemented was having an agenda. You got to start your meeting with an agenda. You got to know what you need to discuss, what are the hot topics and the important information, and you got to stay on track. And then any of your tangents that pop up, you got to throw those into the parking lot. And then after the meeting, schedule a time to deal with those. But just having an agenda alone has saved us a tremendous amount of time because, like I said, we're a family-run company. Sometimes personal mixes into business when you're in a meeting and you're talking about, I'm talking to my dad, who's my boss, but he's also grandfather to my kids. And so you go, hey, let me tell you a story about my kids. You're going to enjoy this as a grandfather. And he's like, no, not on the agenda. Parking lot that. We'll talk about that after work. Let's go ahead and get done with this meeting so that we stay on topic.
Okay, fantastic. And let's see, how about systems? We were just talking on the phone yesterday, and you were saying use the word clockwork. So what are some of the things over this last year? And feel free to say, over the last year, I've been able to implement these 2 or 3 things, and it's allowed things to move more like clockwork with my with our subcontractors, trade partners, and so on. What are some of list 1 or 2 of those things that we've been able to put into place?
Okay, so over the last year, as we have built our processes and procedures and started to actually follow those, it has allowed us to build in schedules that are different from the production schedule. We've got design and production. And now as we run through our meetings with agendas, we can take the design details and get those bundled up and into the correct file so that the production department can take those and run. And when I build a production schedule and I say, okay, I'm going to have this information on this date and that information on that date, then I can schedule my guys in advance, 3-4 weeks in advance, and give them an accurate date that they can shoot for. And they know, okay, on August 1st, I need to be on Brian DeWigg's job because they're going to have material and the job's going to be ready for me. And I know I can show up and do what I need to do and make money and move on down the road. And so over the last year, as we've built all of those, it's just been amazing how much time it has saved us being able to repeat those processes, and instead of having to go feel like you're having to create the wheel or rebuild something every single time.
Cool. And how have your subcontractors responded to those systems that you've put into place when you now ask them, hey guys, we need you to play the game our way? Talk a little bit about how that has gone.
Yeah, my trade partners have responded in a very positive way, because I can call them in advance and say, hey, I'm going to need you on a job in 2 or 3 weeks from now. I'm not calling them going, hey, I need a favor. I know I owe you 5 favors, but I need you to stop what you're doing and come to my job right now or first thing tomorrow morning and take care of something. I know you guys were here yesterday, but I didn't have all the information, so I really need you to come back tomorrow. We've been able to eliminate a lot of that to where now I can send them messages and go, here's your scope of work, and here's when I need you, and the job's going to be ready within 1 or 2 days of those dates. I remember years ago, I was in the truck with my dad, and we called a guy and said, hey, put me on the schedule. I need you a month from now. And the guy just literally laughed out loud, just a big belly laugh. And he's like, there's no way that you know that you're going to be ready for me 1 month from now. And Dad and I just looked at each other and we said, okay, we're going to change that. We're going to get to a place where when we call and we say, I need you a month from now, they go, okay, I'm writing it down, and I'll see you on August 31st, or whatever date that is, and they know they can count on that within a day or two.
Fantastic. So now, is everything perfect?
No, it's not even close to perfect. And unless Clay can teach me the Jedi tricks, I'll never be able to have it perfect, because you're people dealing with people. You never know who's going to have a bad day, who didn't get enough sleep, who's having personal issues that are clouding their brain. We still deal with the weather and, all the rain that's going on. It can slow you down. So it's not perfect, but within the chaos of weather and people, we have started to zero in on perfection, and that's the goal that we strive for.
Fantastic. And okay, so talk a little bit about, and you don't have to go into great detail, but just a little bit about over this last year to 18 months with your mom. And again, you don't have to go into great detail, but the business has been able to function, and actually function at a very high level because of all of these systems, even in the midst of this event. And so if you don't mind, give me like 3 or 4 sentences just on the value of how these systems have helped you through that major life event.
Right. Okay. So about a year ago, my mom got ill, and we found out that she had cancer, and we battled that. And about 6 months ago, we lost her. And that was tough for us. But because of the processes and procedures that we had in place, it allowed my dad to spend more time at home caring for his wife and going through that personal time with my mom. And the company was able to continue to operate because of the things that we already had in place that were set in motion, and the input that we already had on Builder Trend. People were still receiving information as if Brian was there working, because it was already set up, and some of it's automated, so that if someone's needs to be there 3 weeks from now and it's built into the schedule, then they get a message 3 weeks from before then, and then they get another one the week before, and then they get another one the day of. But it also allowed Aaron and I to pick up a lot of what he was doing. And because he had processes for it, we were able to read through those and then cover some of his meetings and do some of the things that he was doing and do them in the same way that he was doing them, because we knew how to follow that procedure. And we could do it without having to call him and ask him questions, because we could just pull up the document and read it and follow along.
Fantastic. Thanks for answering that. And so maybe in just 1 or 2 sentences, talk a little bit about how, again, it's not perfect now, but say just 1 or 2 sentences about saving time, saving money, and being able to make more money now because of the support of these systems.
Right. So with these systems, I'm able to spend time doing it once instead of having to waste time redoing it and then redoing it again because of missed opportunities. So we save a lot of time that way. With that free time, I'm then able to focus on other jobs, which help make us money so that we can operate and do more jobs at one time. It also saves a lot of energy. As you know, if you have to call someone and schedule them and then call them back and reschedule them and then call them again and reschedule them, it just wears down your energy levels. And then you don't have all of yourself to put into whatever the next item is on the list.
Fantastic. So if you were sitting at the bar, all right, and you're having drinks with another person, maybe a buddy, maybe someone you don't even know, you just met them at a conference, and they're a home builder very similar to you, and they're talking about some of the same struggles and difficulties that you guys were experiencing before the coaching. How would you encourage, what would you say to somebody like that about reaching out to the Leadership Initiative and entering into a coaching relationship? How would you encourage them? Would you encourage them? Stay away from Clay; he's a freak. Or what kind of encouragement would you give to them on how coaching could really help them?
I would definitely encourage people to reach out to the Leadership Initiative and get on board with that. It's tough at first, but the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. But it's kind of like climbing a ladder to the slide into the pool. You know, you got to climb those steps to get to the top. But then once you have all that built, you jump on the slide and you slide down into the pool, and now you're swimming in the blue waters. So
what a great metaphor. I love it. I haven't heard that before. I'm going to use that one. Actually, I'm getting ready to do a sales call a little bit later today, Colin. Right. Bring that up. You know, it's like one of my clients talks about. It's the ladder, it's the slide, it's the pool. Yeah, I love it.
Well, and you talked to us about the red waters versus the blue waters.
Yeah.
You know, all the competitive people, you know, the chums in the water, and they're trying to sail through the red waters with the sharks. And we really want to be sailing in the blue waters.
Yeah.
So that was kind of I slipped that blue water in there.
Very nice. I love it. All right, man. Well, Con, thank you so much for your time. And I told you I'd be 30 minutes. And so I think we're right there. And so I want to respect your time. Thank you very much for this. And we'll get this edited up. And when it all gets done, I'll shoot it to you so you can see your beautiful face. All right.
Okay. Sounds good. Right. Thanks, Clay.
Appreciate you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Now the tricky part, can he end the call?
I know. Can I end the call? And okay, so I'm going to stop the recording.
Okay, Aaron Antis, guess who's joining us for the December 4th and 5th, 2025 Thrivetime Show Business Growth Workshop?
Whoa. Ooh,
Santa Claus?
No, we will not be joined by Santa Claus, but we will be joined by Eric Trump, the son of the 45th and now 47th president of these United States. And yes, Amanda Grace will be in the place. And yes, Dr. Stella Manuel will be there, so you know it will go well. Yes, we have Mel K in the house. Pastor Phil and Tammy Hotson-Pillar will be hosting this event at their beautiful church right there in sunny Anaheim, California. Yes, folks, make this a December to remember.
He's fresh.
Make this a December to remember and join us at the 2-day interactive business growth workshops. For over 20 years, folks, I've been hosting business growth workshops where we're going to teach you marketing, sales systems, human resources, accounting, social media marketing, branding, sales training, search engine optimization, accounting, workflow development, financial management, all this and more. How do you get tickets? Go to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, how do you get tickets? Go to thrivetimeshow.com and request tickets today. And now Eric Trump, people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. There's not 50 employees. The Trump organization, again, most people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. And while Donald J. Trump was the 45th president of these United States, and this just in from our home office, President Donald J. Trump is now the 47th president of these United States as well.
I'm Ron Burgundy?
He needed someone to run the companies for him. And so the man that runs the Trump organization for Donald J. Trump, as he was the 45th president of the United States and now the 47th president of the United States, is Eric Trump. And so Eric Trump is here to talk about time management, promoting from within, marketing, branding, quality control, sales systems, workflow design, workflow mapping, how to build. I mean, everything that you see, the Trump hotels, the Trump golf courses, all their products, the man who manages billions of dollars of real estate and thousands of employees is here to teach us how to do it.
You are talking about one of the greatest brands on the planet from a business standpoint.
Right.
I mean, who else has been able to create a brand like the Trump brand? I mean, look at it. And this is the man behind the business for the last pretty much since 2015. He's been the man behind it. So you're talking, we're into 9 going into 10 years of him running it, and we get to tap into that knowledge. That's going to be amazing.
Now, think about this for a second.
Nothing is over until we decide it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
German? Forget it, he's rolling.
And it ain't over now.
The lineup continues to grow, and this is how we do our tickets here at the Thrivetime Show. If you want to get a VIP ticket, you can absolutely do it. It's $500 for a VIP ticket. We've always done it that way. Now, if you want to take a general admission ticket, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. And the reason why I do that, and the reason why we do that is because we want to make our events affordable for everybody. I grew up without money. I totally understand what it's like to be in a tight spot. So if you want to attend, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. That's how I do it. And it's $500 for a VIP ticket. Now, we only have limited seating here with...
Whoa. There's a lot of togetherness and closeness, camaraderie.
So again, if you want to get tickets for this event, all you have to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. When you go to thrivetimeshow.com, you'll go there, you'll request a ticket, boom. Or if you want to text me, if you want a little bit faster service, you say, I want you to call me right now. Just text my number. It's my cell phone number, my personal cell phone number. We'll keep that private between you, me, everybody. We'll keep that private. And anybody. Don't share that with anybody except for everybody. That's my private cell phone number. It's 918-851-0102. 918-851-0102. I know we have a lot of Spanish-speaking people that attend these conferences. And so to be bilingually sensitive, my cell phone number is 918-851-0102.
That is not actually bilingual. That's just saying Juan for a one. It's not the same thing.
I think you're attacking me. Now, let's talk about this. Now, what kind of stuff will you learn at the Thrivetime Show workshop? So, Aaron, you've been to many of these over the past 7-8 years. So let's talk about it. I'll tee up the thing, and then you tell me what you're going to learn here, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
You're going to learn marketing and branding. What are we going to learn about marketing and branding?
Oh, yeah. We're going to dive into, so many people say, I got to get my brand known out there, like the Trump brand, right? You want to get that brand brand out there. It's like, how do I actually make people know what my business is and make it a household name? You're going to learn some intricacies of how you can do that.
You're going to learn sales. So many people struggle to sell something. This just in, your business will go to hell if you can't sell. So we're going to teach you sales. We're going to teach you search engine optimization, how to come up top in the search engine results. We're going to teach you how to manage people. Aaron, you have managed, no exaggeration, hundreds of people throughout your career and thousands of contractors. And most people struggle with managing people. Why does everybody have to learn how to manage people?
Well, because first of all, you either have great people or you have people who suck. And so it can be a challenge. Learning how to work with a large group of people and get everybody pulling in the same direction can be a challenge. But if you have the right systems, you have the right processes, and you're really good at selecting great ones, and we have a process we teach about how to find great people. When you start with the people who have a great attitude, they're teachable, they're driven, all of those things, then you can get those people all pulling in the same direction.
So we're going to teach you branding, marketing, sales, search engine optimization. We're going to teach you accounting. We're going to teach you personal finance, how to manage your finance. We're going to teach you time management. How do you manage your time? How do you get more done during a typical day? How do you build an organization if you're not organized? How do you do organization? How do you build an org chart? Everything that you need to know to start and grow a business will be taught during this 2-day interactive business workshop. Now, let me tell you how the format is set up here. And again, folks, this is a 2-day interactive 15. Think about this, folks. It's 2 days. Each day it starts at 7 a.m. and it goes until 5 p.m. So from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., 2 days. It's a 2-day interactive workshop. The way we do it is we do a 30-minute teaching session, and then we break for 15 minutes for a question and answer session. So, Aaron, what kind of great stuff happens during that 15-minute question and answer session after every teaching session?
I actually think it's the best part about the workshops, because here's what happens. I've been to lots of these things over the years. I've paid many thousands of dollars to go to them. And you go in there and they talk in vague generalities, and they're constantly upselling you for something, trying to get you to buy this thing or that thing or this program or this membership. And you leave not getting your very specific questions answered about your business or your employees or what you're doing on your marketing. And what's awesome about this is we literally answer every single question that any person asks, and it's very specific to what your business is.
And what we do is we allow you as the attendee to write your questions on the whiteboard.
Yep.
And then we literally, as you mentioned, we answer every single question on the whiteboard. And then we take a 15-minute break to stretch. And this is also your opportunity to meet some of the great speakers like Pastor Dave Scarlett. You can meet Mel Kay. You could meet Amanda Grace. You could meet Dr. Stella Emanuel. You could just grab a coffee. You could find some alone time. You could get lost in the bathroom. You could try to go and get a photo with one of the speakers. You could try to photobomb a photo where someone else is getting a photo with the speakers. You could go attempt to find your phone, wallet, and your keys.
My phone, wallet, keys, yeah, phone, wallet, keys.
Whoa. Now that's a good idea.
Well, it's going to be great. And then you're in the company of hundreds of entrepreneurs. So there's not a lot of people in America today. In fact, there's less than 10 million people today, according to U.S. Debt Clock, that identify as being self-employed. So if you have a country with 350 million people, that means you have less than 3% of our population that's even self-employed. Yeah. So you only have 3 out of every 100 people in America that are self-employed to begin with. And when Inc. magazine reports that 96% of businesses fail by default, you have a 1 out of 1,000 chance of succeeding in the game of business.
It's tough.
But yet the average client that you and I work with, we can typically double this. This is no hyperbole, no exaggeration. And I have thousands of testimonials to back this up. We have thousands of testimonials to back it up. But when you work with a home builder, when I work with a business owner, we can typically double the size of the company within 24 months.
Yeah.
Double. And you say double? Yeah, there's businesses that we have tripled. There's businesses we've grown 8x. There's so many examples you can see at thrivetimeshow.com. But again, this is the most interactive, best business workshop on the planet. This is objectively the highest rated and most reviewed business workshop on the planet. Whoa. Add to that, Eric Trump, the man that runs the Trump organization. You say, Clay, I'm not going to get a ticket unless you give me more. Okay, fine. We're going to serve you the same meal both days. True story. We cater in the food, and because I keep it simple, I literally bring in the same food both days for lunch.
Who's with me? Let's go! Come on!
It was an incredible Mexican restaurant. That's going to happen. Someone says, I want more. This is not enough.
Give me more.
Okay, I'm not going to mention their names right now because I'm working on it behind the scenes here. But we just continue to add more and more success stories. So if you're out there today and you want to change your life, you want to give yourself an incredible gift, you want a life-changing experience, you want to learn how to start and grow a company, go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go there right now, thrivetimeshow.com. Request a ticket for the 2-day interactive event. Again, the event's going to be on December 4th and 5th in sunny Anaheim, California. Great weather. Make this a December to remember. Eric Trump, the man who leads the Trump organization. It's going to be a blasty blast. There's no upsells. Aaron, I could not be more excited about this event.
I think it is incredible. And there's somebody out there right now, you're watching and you're like, but I already signed up for this incredible other program called Smoke Your Way to Thin. You think that's going to change your life? I promise you this will be 10 times better than that.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
Don't do the Smoke Your Way to Thin conference. That is, I've tried it. Don't do it.
Yeah, chain smoking is not a viable. I mean, it is life changing. It is life changing. If you become a chain smoker, it is life changing.
Not the best weight loss program, though.
Right? Really. So if you're looking to have life changing results in a way that won't cause you to have a stoma, get your tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's Aaron Antis. I'm Clay Clark, and reminding you and inviting you to come out to the 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show workshop in beautiful Anaheim, California.
I'm Kay Dixon. I'm from Sarasota, Florida.
I'm Vince Suzuki, also from Sarasota, Florida.
He dragged me here.
Yep, was here in 2018, and it changed my business, and I built another business, and now I'm here to do it again with this business. So.
Yeah, I'm a brand strategist, and it's been really easy to go to a lot of events like this and just leave really in your head like what to do next. And already there's the strategic, step-by-step, real-life implementation that we can do to our business, and I'm so grateful to be here and very excited that Eric Trump is here, and that is going to be epic.
Hi, my name is Erica, and it has been amazing being here. The conference, I'm learning so much. Everything is perfect for me.
But that Clay Clark, man, he is one character.
It's a good word for him, character. Yeah, that is it.
Good, driven, smart. And I've never met a guy who was so hyper all the time. He's doing so much good. And then I met his mother, and she just says, she just lets him be Clay Clark. I mean, so he's endorsed by his mother, and he's doing magnificent work. So it was great meeting you out there and all the people that he surrounds himself with. Clay Clark starts his days at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah, he's a machine. He's a machine.
But I have problems with my company starting at 9 o'clock. Yes, hundreds of people showing up at 5 a.m. in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Man, he's a leader of a leader. He's a fantastic young man.
No, he is.
And the greatest thing that will come out of all of it, aside from winning the presidency of the United States, we'll get to that in a second, was an everlasting friendship between Clay and I, because I'm telling you, there's not too many people in the world that have this man's backbone and his tenaciousness and his perseverance. And so, buddy, I love you. And to General Flynn, thank you. You guys are incredible. You guys are incredible warriors. You guys are incredible, incredible warriors. So thank you, my friend.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
4,000% from February to February. Now I can better that. Okay, Clay, I don't think you know this. I don't think you know this. I'm pinching myself, and if I cry, forgive me. In the last 2.5 days, we have bettered our entire month of February in the last 2.5 days. So, and the phone's blowing up. Everything's just blowing up. You're right. It is like a rocket ship. So We're pinching ourselves, actually.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
We're going to move into action mode here. So for anybody out there, if you say, I would like to go to Mar-a-Lago. Now, Jackson, you know, this just in, they raided Mar-a-Lago. You know about this? This just in. And so some people say, you know, that wasn't cool. I didn't like that. But, you know, so a lot of people out there, we want to kind of stick it to the New York Times. We want Eric to become the #1 best-selling author in America. And we kind of also want to go to Mar-a-Lago and check it out. We've never been there before. So what we're going to do is for anybody right now, if you go to Amazon right now and you buy a copy of Eric Trump's book, Under Siege, My Family's Fight to Save Our Nation. So you go to Amazon right now, you buy a copy of the book, and you just text a screenshot of your proof of purchase to my cell phone number, 918-851-0102. So text my number, 918-851-0102. So again, step one, you go here to Amazon.com, you buy a copy of the book, Under Siege, then you just text a screenshot of your purchase, your proof of purchase. You text my number, 918-851-0102. You have a chance to win a dinner at Mar-a-Lago with Eric Trump and myself, and there's more.
And by the way, Mar-a-Lago right there, just for your viewers, it's a most exclusive private club in the world. $2 million to get into, just base membership fee. And I promise we're going to make your night absolutely incredible. Clay goes, listen, why don't we do this? Why don't we put it out to all the amazing Reawaken people, all the people who supported us all around the country, all around, you know, at every one of these conferences, who adore your family. You know, we've got to beat the New York Times. The New York Times is going to do everything they can. Even though we're #1 on Amazon right now, we just hit #1 this morning. New York Times is going to do everything they can to keep you from being #1 bestseller. You know that. I know that. You know the games that they're willing to play. But Clay goes, why don't we do a couple of things? First of all, love having dinner with Clay. He's the greatest. You know, second of all, why don't we bring one of the amazing people that I guarantee you I've been in front of at all these events. You know, why don't we bring a couple to dinner at Mar-a-Lago? And I said, absolutely, consider it done. So I said they have to text you, Clay. They can't text me because we'll be getting 1,000 of these. But yeah, go buy a book, text Clay, and we'll set up a dinner. I'll make sure you guys have the absolute time of your life.
I'm going to pull this up again one more time here, Jackson. I think sometimes I'm a poor communicator, and I need to work on communicating more effectively. So you go to Amazon. That's step one, okay?
Yes.
You buy a copy of the book, Pop Quiz. What book?
Under Siege.
You buy a copy of Under Siege, and then you screenshot a picture of that, and you text my phone number. It's 918-851-0102. And folks, that is my cell phone number. So we'll keep that private between you and me and everybody. And then when you text that to me, you have a chance to win a backstage pass to the actual in-person business workshop. That's a business growth workshop, December 4th and 5th, featuring Eric Trump in Anaheim, California. And you have a chance to win dinner with Eric Trump and myself at Mar-a-Lago. Now, someone says, when does this contest end? Now, Eric, your birthday was hijacked. Okay, so your birthday was hijacked. January 6th is this man's birthday. He now has to switch his birthday because no one wants to talk about his birthday on January 6th anymore. So we're going to run this promotion until November 5th. That's my birthday. So we're gonna,
So we're going to run it till October 14th.
October
has to
14th.
Be pre-sale.
This just in. It has to be between October 14th. That's why we're clarifying. So between now and October 14th. Now, folks, let me just clarify this real quick here. So make sure I'm leaving you with some good clarity here. One, you buy a copy of Under Siege on Amazon. That's the step one.
Yep.
Step two, you text a screenshot of that purchase to my cell phone number, 918-851-0102. Three, you have to do that before October 14th. Before October 14th, this just in. It has to be before October 14th. And you have a chance to win a backstage pass to the upcoming business workshop. You have a chance to have dinner with Eric Trump at Mar-a-Lago. And I want to tell you some benefits of buying the book. One, I've read the book. It's incredible. If you're a father out there and you want to learn about mentoring your kids, it's a great book. If you want to learn about American history, it's a great book. If you want to make America great again, it is a great book. It's a book you got to have.
Now here is just a quick editor's note. You do not have to buy a copy of Eric Trump's book, Under Siege, to be entered into the drawing. Whoa. Just text the number. All you have to do is just text the number, 918-851-0102, and you will be entered into the drawing for a chance to win a copy of Eric Trump's book, Under Siege, and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to hang out with Eric Trump and Clay Clark at Mar-a-Lago, and to win a backstage pass at the upcoming ThriveTimeShow.com 2-day interactive business workshop. Again, you do not have to buy a copy of the book to be entered into the drawing, but it would be great if you'd buy a copy of the book because that would make sense. However, that is all, and now back to the interview.
Also, Eric, a final question here for you. You are donating a portion of the proceeds to support Charlie Kirk in his continued mission there. Could you tell us about that briefly there, and then we'll let you get back to what you're doing today, sir?
Yeah, well, I was on with Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson was a great friend of Charlie Kirk's, as you know, and you know Benny, and Benny's a very good friend of mine. And, you know, Cash Patel is a very good friend of mine and was a very good friend of Charlie's. I mean, you watch everybody that's up on that stage every single day as they got to the bottom of exactly what happened, and they brought justice to what happened, or are trying to bring justice to what happened. And it's kind of unthinkable. But you know St. Jude, and I talk a lot about St. Jude in this book, because that's been, you know, fighting pediatric cancer has always been a cornerstone of my life. But Charlie truly was the epitome of being under siege, not only in the movement that he helped create, but obviously in how his life was savagely taken. My book came out 2.5 days before Charlie's assassination. You better believe he would have been the final chapter of this book as just another illustration of what these people will do at any cost to try and win, because it's who they are. It's you know, it's the not so tolerant left. And we can never let, you know, our voices be extinguished, Clay. You stood on that stage as well as anybody I've ever seen stand on a stage. You did our Reawaken events all across the country, which you funded out of your back pocket because you believed in America. You believed in a greater country. And you were on that stage every single day. You know, I was on that stage with you every single day. And I was on the Turning Point stage with Charlie all the time. And I was on stages across, you know, the country and 3 campaigns. I've stood on thousands of them. And honestly, they don't want us to stand on that stage. That's why they're sending bullets from rooftops. They don't want us to go out there with a bullhorn and have loud, independent thought. When they see these beautiful arenas full of kids and they're cheering, they're celebrating, they're holding American flags, they don't want that. And so they want to silence us. They want to silence our voice. That's why they killed Charlie. That's why they tried to kill my father. That's why they sent 112 subpoenas to me. That's why they wanted me in jail and my father in jail and Don in jail. That's why they made up the hoaxes. They wanted to see us destroyed and gone with no voice, with no money, with no company, with no political aspirations, gone. And we can't allow that to happen. And so we need to make sure that Turning Point continues. We need to make sure incredible patriots like you continue to spread, you know, sensible, you know, speech, pro-American values, you know, pro-religious, pro-constitutional values. And that's why I want to donate the funds to Turning Point. I want to donate, you know, a portion of the funds to Turning Point, because we can't allow anarchy to win, and we can't allow voices to be deleted, and we need to keep Charlie's legacy going.
Eric Trump, thank you so much for joining us. Pastor Jackson, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
Eric, have a great day. We really do appreciate you. Everybody go out there and buy that book, Under Siege. It's not too early to buy your Christmas gifts. And if you have a Democrat in your family, buy them a copy as well. Eric Trump, take care.
Thanks, guys. See you later.